A major change coming to the structure of high school athletics here in the state of Alabama. Good evening and welcome into sports. For years, there's been discussion about whether public and private schools should compete for the same championships or even be allowed the same league here in the Yellowhammer State. Of course, those main complaints have stemmed from the idea that private schools can work from a larger resource base or in some cases even recruit kids away from the public school system. Today, the Alabama High School Athletic Association Central Board of Control made it clear that they do think there's a problem and they're fixing it by restructuring the entire classification system, separating private and public schools into separate classes and regions so that public and private schools will no longer compete for the same state title starting next school year.
The landscape of education-based athletics in Alabama is changing, and the AHSAA must continue to adapt. After careful review and after listening to our public and private school members, the Central Board determined that now is the appropriate time to restructure championship play. The Alabama High School Athletic Association remains one unified association serving all member schools. Public and private schools will continue to compete against one another throughout the regular season.
Okay, so other things that came out of this press conference, there will no longer be a private school multiplier where one private school student used to count as 1.3 public school students when calculating enrollment, and therefore what a classification they should be in. True enrollment will now be the only decider. Also, there will no longer be a competitive balanced point system. A private school headmaster and principals committee will be formed, and a private school director of championships will eventually be named. All right, so let's break down what this is going to look like for football starting next fall. There will now be 6 public school classifications, 2 private school classifications inside of the AHSAA. The private classes will be called Private Single A and Private Double A. This is Private Single A here on your screen. Region 4. It features Coosa Christian, Decatur Heritage Academy, Lindsay Lane Christian Academy, Marcel Bible, Shoals Christian, Westbrook Christian, and Whitesburg Christian. Overall, a pretty geographically sound region. The furthest distance will be from Coosa Christian and Gadsden to the Shoals. Here is what our other private school football region will look like next year. Private Double A will have just 2 regions, splitting up the 17 biggest private schools here in the state. Our local teams will be in Region 2, and it's kind of a geographic nightmare, to be honest with you. American Christians in Tuscaloosa, Briarwood Christians in Birmingham, John Carroll Catholic High is also in Birmingham, while Lee Scott Academy is all the way in Auburn. Here locally, Madison Academy, Randolph, St. John Paul II Catholic High School, and Westminster Christian High School are the local teams. So yes, Tennessee Valley squads are now going to have to drive 2 hours plus to Tuscaloosa, an hour and a half plus to the Birmingham area, and 3.5 hours to Auburn for a regular season game. Just like it's been the case all along, though, reclassification will take place every 2 years to address rising and declining enrollment numbers.